Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. So before I begin, I just want to say I do have some new, interesting, and more positive soccer videos coming up, along with game reviews for Orlando Pride and OL Reign this upcoming weekend, November 9th and October 10th. There are also 3 games going on tonight, Wednesday, October 6th. Gotham versus the Washington Spirit, North Carolina Courage versus Racing Louisville, and Portland Thorns versus the Houston Dash. So, I know and understand a lot of the news coming up in the NWSL. A lot of what I've been reporting on is negative and sad, to say the least. But as NWSL fans, women's soccer fans, we need to know and see what's going on with this league. We need to see and hear about this painful and difficult stuff so that we can continue to support and be there for the players. We need to know what's going on so that we can continue to fight for change and protect these players that we all care about. That being said, let's get into this. So, Steve Baldwin, owner and CEO of the Washington Spirit, finally decided to step down yesterday, Tuesday, October 5th. Tuesday, October 5th. I accidentally had October 6th in the script. But he says in this statement posted on the Washington Spirit Twitter account, "Dear Spirit family, in recent days, I have spent a lot of time thinking about the future of the Washington Spirit and the vision I laid out just 3 years ago. I have also listened to team leadership and staff, investors, fans, and players, to concerns about the Spirit's workplace culture and our prior coach's conduct. While there is a range of opinions on how we got here and how to move forward, everyone, none more so than me, is committed to improving the club's culture, removing distractions, and returning the focus to the players and the pursuit of a championship. With that goal in mind, and at the recent request of our players, I have decided to resign as CEO and managing partner of the Washington Spirit, effective immediately. Club President Ben Olsen will have full authority over all club operations. This was an extremely difficult decision for me. I have poured everything into building this club and care deeply for the players, staff, and fan base. I have no doubt made some mistakes, but my efforts and focus were always on building a professional experience for our players, the club's profile, and the beautiful game in the DMV. I hope that stepping back removes me as a distraction and allows the club to thrive. Best, Steve." All right. So that's it, right? Baldwin finally resigns and steps down. Now the Spirit can get back to playing soccer and get back on track, right? It's all over, right? Well, not quite. Turns out the Washington Spirit players who have been trying to stay silent, trying to focus on soccer, their training, their upcoming games, sent Baldwin a letter, and Spirit players believed that Baldwin didn't even bother reading it. This is the letter Spirit players sent to Steve Baldwin. You can find it on Washington Spirit and U.S. Women's National Team midfielder Andy Sullivan's Twitter. The letter says, "Steve, today you stepped down as CEO and managing partner. We are disappointed and frustrated that we received no direct response from you to our letter or even an acknowledgement that you received it. We have shown incredible restraint by not commenting publicly on all of the infractions committed by the club and abuse we have experienced. We were open and honest with you after holding our voices for a long time. In your statement, you declared your commitment to returning the focus to the players, returning to our phones post-training with yet another news story about our club is a distraction to our game preparation, our season, and our careers. We realize some of your efforts may have been sincere, but that time is past. Right now, as we look across the soccer landscape, packed with painful stories of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and team mismanagement, we, along with our peers, are suffering. We want to stand in solidarity with them, rather than being dragged into what appears to us to be an ego-driven battle. We would like for the focus to actually return to the players. When we asked you to step aside, step back from management, we clearly meant you should not retain any management control. We are sure you understood that. You still have a firm grip as majority owner on the decisions that need to be made at the club, even if they are made from behind a veil. In your final act as managing partner, you pass the baton to someone you hired who has virtually no experience in the role you left to him. We have no confidence in that management structure, especially on the soccer operations side, and we don't have reason to believe that you won't be involved. This is not a fresh start. Let us be clear. The person we trust is Michelle. She continuously puts players' needs and interests first. She listens. She believes that this can be a profitable business, and you have always said you intended to hand the team over to female ownership. That moment is now. Please sell to Michelle at a reasonable price and uphold your stated intention in 2019 of donating any profit you see to the Maryland Soccer Foundation. Honestly, what a beautiful and sad letter. You can just tell the Spirit team is exhausted and frustrated by everything that's going on, not just with their club, but outside of it. You can tell they're absolutely done with how their team is being managed. The players said it best in this letter. The players said who they want the team to be sold to, but Baldwin still decided to hand the team over to his buddy Ben Olsen, who the team has zero confidence in. If Baldwin actually cared about the team and players, he would have sold the club to Michelle, the person who the players wanted leading the club. The players also pointed out that just because Baldwin is stepping down as CEO, he is still the majority owner, meaning he can still make decisions from behind the scenes, and given that Baldwin most likely still has his friends, his good old boys club, working in the Washington Spirit, they're going to listen to him still. And I apologize for any noise you hear outside. Ben Olsen, who has no idea about women's soccer and running a women's team, who do you think he's going to turn to for help and advice? I'll give you a hint. It's Steve Baldwin. The Spirit players aren't stupid. They know what's up. Baldwin may have stepped down as the CEO, but he still has a lot of power over the Washington Spirit. And honestly, should we really be surprised? Baldwin's ego is huge and very delicate. Did we really expect him to give up the Washington Spirit that easily? Especially with how he's been trying to hold on and fighting it for so long? Remember, this is the guy who, according to an investigation, rage traded multiple Spirit players, some of which included Mallory Pugh and Rose Lavelle, because he believed they, among others, defied him or were disloyal to him. This guy rage traded players because he was mad at them or because they criticized him. Mallory Pugh had to have been 21 at the time when she was playing for the Spirit. And I said in one of my other videos, linked below, how fragile is your ego that you see a 21-year-old as a threat to your authority? Granted, Mallory Pugh is now with the Chicago Red Stars, and Roosevelt is now with OL Reign, and both are doing well, but geez, imagine getting traded because the owner is mad at you. I'm sure it happens, like a lot. But if that's the case, Mal and Rose dodged a bullet. Anyway, Baldwin is still in control of the Washington Spirit. He is the majority owner and has a firm grip on the club like the players have pointed out in their letter. Baldwin only said he was stepping down as CEO so that the fans will get off his back. This is not over. This is far from over because Baldwin still has control over the Washington Spirit. His old boys club is still there. The whole Washington Spirit management needs to be scrapped entirely. Don't believe it for a moment that this is all over. The players know this is far from over, and they're not happy. It would be interesting to see if the players do decide to start speaking out. They do say in their letter, "We have shown incredible restraint by not commenting publicly on all of the infractions committed by the club and the abuse we have experienced." Basically, what that means is we could if we wanted to. And honestly, they should. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.